The goal of the rough cut is to make the best possible version of the director's original intentions. There's 3 guidelines to follow when cutting your rough cut, and I stand by them 100%. Number 1, you must use all of the coverage, including at least 1 clip from each angle. This allows you and the director to see all the possible shots and takes that you guys can use. Because we've gone through each angle, we already have our favorites labeled, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem. Number 2, do not remove any script beats. All beats should be in the rough cut. If something doesn't fit in your opinion, don't get rid of it yet. Again, the idea is to see the cut with the director's intentions and explore all your options. And number 3, don't change the order of the beats. All beats must be cut in script order in the rough cut. If it's written in the script, it should be on the timeline in the order that you read it. So with all of that said, let's rough the cut. All right, rough cut time. So the first thing I'm gonna do is open up our project, come to our project window. We are going to select our latest sequence, which is our shot assembly sequence. All right, future Joey here. This video is actually part of a longer playlist of videos that teach you the intricacies of video editing through the lens of a Nike commercial. These 3 sequences right here that you see on screen right now were actually created in earlier videos. So if you wanna learn how to make these parts for yourself, so that way you can follow along with this video, check out the link in the description. It's gonna show you step by step how we created them and supply you with the assets and presets used to create them. That way you can edit along with us and make your rough cut even better. Okay, future Joey is out. Guess what? We're gonna duplicate it again. Command C, Command V. Now we're gonna select the top one and we're going to rename it rough cut. Then we're gonna underscore and we're gonna date it again. Today's date is May 3rd, 2021. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double click my rough cut sequence, make sure it's open, and then I'm going to double click my shot assembly sequence, make sure that's open. Then I'm gonna close out of all the other sequences. So I'm closing out of sync and I'm closing out of trim. We're done with those. We're gonna click on rough cut up here and drag it all the way to the bottom until we see this blue little pentagon and we're gonna drop it. Now you should see 2 timelines. You should see your shot assembly timeline and your rough cut timeline. In the rough cut timeline, select all of it, delete it. Yep, I said it, delete it. Delete everything. Navigate to the script. We have to read the script. Let's just keep that open. I'm gonna open that up. Beautiful, there she is. Awesome. So because it's a small script, I'm just gonna keep it on the side like that. It'll make it easier. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read through the script and we're gonna select the shots that are in the script. So for example, exterior desert early morning, 1.01, the sky is bluish purple with an orange haze that lights up the horizon. We're gonna come up to our aerial shot. The aerial shot kind of describes that shot perfectly. So we're gonna select the orange one we chose and we're gonna drop it right there on the timeline. No, we wanna keep existing settings. Athlete steps into frame. Let's find an athlete stepping into frame. I'm just gonna use our wide. I'm gonna jump to our wide shot and we're gonna grab this guy. He's into frame. I'm actually gonna mute this bottom layer because we're gonna hear ourselves a little bit. Athlete steps into frame. His focus in the distance. His eyes are bagged. The wide shot kind of covers all that, but that's okay. I'm just gonna decide for the rough cut to cut here. I know there's one shot of him walking into frame. So I'm gonna cut in a little closer as he's walking in. So let's use this one, drag you. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here. I'm gonna hold command, and what holding command does is it turns it yellow. It gives you your ripple tool. Just gonna extend that out a little bit. I want him to start jumping. So I'm gonna cut from him jumping in the wide to him jumping in the close-up. So I wanna use this cut on the turn, just cause it's like the most action that happens is that little head movement right there. So I'm gonna hit Q on my keyboard, and that's gonna ripple trim to my last edit. So it's gonna take all of this, and it's gonna delete it. All I do is hit Q, and it brings it back down. So let's look at it. Yeah, that works. Just for the rough cut, it works. His focus in the distance. His eyes are baggy. He's tired, but he's present. Nervous, but he's ready. He's got a long way to go, and it frightens him. So let's see what we got. All right, let's use this last clip. Let's drag and drop it into the timeline. And let's cut to right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Q. And again, it's going to delete everything on the left side of the cursor, bringing my cursor to right here. So we'll cut about right here. Yeah, that works. Okay, that's a really weird, awkward cut. So what I think I'm gonna do is have him walk a little bit. There needs to be something that blends this cut into that cut, and I'm just gonna use the walk. I think he walks forward here. Yeah, he walks forward right there. So we're gonna use the walk to blend him in because he walks into frame here. Boom, we'll do right there. That's right, we'll fix it. We'll fix it later. I'll give him a little room. I'm gonna hold command and activate my ripple trim again. Yeah, we'll do that. I like that one. Ooh, we get to sit. Okay, so now this is a close-up. We kind of get to we get to see the profile. So he's tired, but he's present, nervous, but ready. He's got a long way to go. Let's do this. Let's throw that insert in, right? He's got a long way to go. Well, what shows that he's got a long way to go to me is this shot right here. And do we have an orange one? We have an orange one right here. We have an orange one right here. Let's use the first orange one just because it's the first one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select it, drag and drop it. I'm just gonna drop it right on top. So we wanna cut before he looks down, right? We wanna cut before he looks down. So he steps in, he's looking straight. That looks good. We'll give him a little bit of time. That feels almost too close up, but we could switch that out later. It's not a big deal. So we'll keep that in. I think that works. And let's cut back to him. He's done looking at whatever it is. He's going to look down at his shoes. Boom. And I think Nikes go there. I think we're going to put Nikes there. His eyes fall to his shoes. Nike runners. So let's go to the B-roll. And let's peep those Nike runners. We got any orange? Oh, that's the swipe. We want that. I like this. Let's just use this one. So I'm going to hit C. I'm going to cut this part. Play it a little bit till I'm happy. I'm happy. Drag and drop that in. Looking at his kicks. Not bad. Not bad. I buy that. All right, he's looking at his kick. He takes a second to himself. He lifts his head up, chin a little bit higher, nodding. He's almost ready. All right, so this is a confident booster. Probably find that shot. Let's just pick up this piece right here because he's looking down and he looks up and he gets into his stuff. Let's just drag and drop that whole clip and let's just throw it on the end. Let's see what it looks like. Nice. Checking out his shoes. His head comes up. Deep breath. All right, he's jumping in place. Let's cut to a wide as he's jumping in place. And I feel that just because I want to see him shake his arms out because that's the next line. He shakes out his arms and legs. He rolls his neck, gazes his head. His eyes quickly drop to the ground. He stripes a line through the dirt with his foot. It's his starting line. Awesome. So let's find a wide shot or something wider of him doing that action. Yeah, let's cut back to this wide right here. We may actually not need that. Maybe we cut to this wide. This is a tighter wide. This is actually a mid. So we'll cut right here. Click, and we're just going to drag and drop that onto the rough cut. He's jumping, he's rolling his neck. Okay, that's an abrupt cut. I will fix that one. So he's jumping here. He's not jumping here. So I'm going to select this clip. I'm going to hold command, activate my ripple trim, and I'm just going to push it out a little bit so I can match the jump. Yeah, that works for me. That makes me happy just for the rough cut. Again, this is a rough cut. We're just throwing everything we like on the timeline just to get a look at it. Dropping it down. All right. Ooh, he's looking down. He's about to stripe a line. So let's make sure. Shakes his arm. He stripes a line through the dirt with his foot. So let's find this shot right here. He stripes a line through the dirt with his foot. It's his starting line. And that shot is yellow. It's one of the inserts. And we're going to come to the back and he's striping a line. This very last one. This was the best one we had, so we're just going to drag and drop that on. So I'm going to select it, drag and drop it on right here. Make sure it flows enough for the rough cut. So you could see his body leans frame left, and we're just going to drop that in right here. He lowers into his track stance as his fingers touch the dirt. An engine roars from behind him, a white Mustang. All right, he lowers into his track stance. Let's find him lowering into his track stance. Let's actually use one of these mids, these kind of tight mids. We want to see him come down into the stance. So none of these are orange of him coming down into the stance. That's okay. Let's use this last one. We'll just use the last one. We're going to select it and extend it out just a tad. We want to see him coming down into the stance. So that's good. We'll take it from right there. And then we'll drag and drop him close. He's getting into his stance. Beautiful. He lowers into his track stance as his fingers touch the dirt. An engine roars from behind him. All right, so now we got to go put that finger shot in. So it'll go probably around that area. So let's come back up into our shot assembly. We're just going to pick one. Let's use that one. We'll use that. We'll throw you in there, and we'll throw you right there. So as he's coming down into his stance, we should see the hands come. Yeah, that works right there. So we'll probably bring that in a little more. That makes me happy, and we'll just cut it right there. So as his hand touches the ground, an engine roars from behind him. A white Mustang pulls up next to him. His focus is fixed and doesn't look. Awesome. So let's move y'all out and let's go to the wide shot that I really like. This one. That's the one. Let's put her in. So we just need the car pulling up. Yep, right there, right before the shadow. And I'm going to hit Q, and again, it's going to ripple up the timeline, and it's going to bring me to this edit point right here, and I'm going to hit Q. Come back. There it is. There's the car. Engine roars loudly. The sound's intimidating. His gaze rises to the horizon, this time with a grin ready to race. So let's find, so I'm just going to hit C. I'm going to cut out, and I'm going to move you down the line. Super close-up grin. So we have this one. We have the orange one. All right, let's cut straight to the close-up. All right, this one's orange. Let's drag and drop right in, and let's make her match. Cute. Grin. Right after he grins, they explode off the line. Boom. He's off the line, but we want to see them explode off the line, so we're going to probably cut back to this. As they're running off the line, I'm just going to hit Q to ripple out all that shit and bring her in. They explode off the line. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. Nike, just do it. All right, so we'll talk about putting that graphic in later, but for right now, that's the rough cut. That's it. That's pretty much it. We dragged and dropped all our shots. Now let's watch it from the very beginning and see how horrible it is. Beautiful sky. It's pretty long. That jump in it, that's a lot. Steps into frame. Okay, we're a little discombobulated, but I mean, the flow of motion works. That was a little quick. You don't really get that. Nike's okay. He's got Nike runners. White shoes in a desert. I like that. God, that shot just throws me out. I don't know how I feel about it. Stretching, everything looks good. And down, draws the line right on. He's like, yeah, I got this. Okay, that's our rough cut. It's absolute garbage, but that's our rough cut. So I'm gonna do one last thing. I'm gonna go to the beginning of the timeline. I just wanna trim off some of the fat we don't need because this shot is a little long, and I'm just gonna watch it from the beginning, actually. I'm done. I'm over it. I get it. I'm going to cut all this out right here. And all I'm going to do is hit W, and it's going to ripple the rest of the timeline down to that point. That's pretty much your rough cut. The pacing's whack, don't get me wrong, but we are going to fix this, but we do need to see what it looks like on the timeline with all the clips together. And if I'm honest, it's absolute dog shit actually, but it looks workable. And that's what matters, is we could work with it. If you like that video and you're ready to see how music is going to absolutely change everything, you can watch the next episode in the series where we break down the music selection process right here.